students. I welcome all of you once again to the fourth part of lesson number 10, force and the types of the force. So students, let's recall once again what we have started in this chapter. So students, in this chapter we spoke about the different types of the force. So as you all know that there are 6 types of the forces which are available in the nature. The first type of the force is that the muscular force. The second type of the force is that the mechanical force. The third one is the gravitational force. The fourth one, the magnetic force. Fifth one, the frictional force. And the last one is that electrostatic force. So these are the different type of the force which are available. So till now we spoke about the muscular force, mechanical force, gravitational force, magnetic force, and even about the frictional force. So let's see that what is the exactly meaning of the frictional force which we have learnt in the last lecture. So you all know that students, when the two surfaces rub against each other, whenever the two surfaces rub against each other, the force of friction comes into the play. It always acts against the direction of the motion. If the force of friction, if the motion, if it is in this direction, then the friction will be in the opposite direction, as I told you. And because of the force of friction, we are able to walk properly and we are able to run properly. Without force of friction, we won't be able to walk properly. So that's why student, the force of friction is very important. Without force of friction, we will slip on the land. So that's why students, we have again seen that whenever the smooth surface can be easily rub against each other, because the force of friction between the two smooth surface, it will be too less, whereas the rough surfaces can't be easily rubbed. Why the rough surfaces can't be easily rubbed? Because there will be having a greater force of friction. So the more the force of friction, it will be very difficult. The lesser the force of friction, the rubbing will be more easier. And again we have seen that it is possible for us to walk on the ground only because of the force of friction. If there is no friction, we would slip on the oily or the slippery floor. So because of the force of friction, we are able to walk and run properly. And again students, the force of friction is important in this category also. So whenever, suppose if the tire is sticked into the mud, a force of friction is generated between the wheel and the wooden plank, which will lead down under the car, and that's why a car can be pulled out very easily from the mud. If the wood is not put here, there will be no friction between the mud and the tire, and because of the zero friction, it will be very difficult to pull out the car from the mud. And that's why we use the wooden plank to take out the tire from the mud. And because of the wooden material, a force of friction is generated, and it became so easy for pulling out the car from the tire from the mud. Understood? In short, the force of friction can either be decreased or increased as per the wish. Okay. So students, let me ask you one question over here. So we came to the last part of this topic over here. So as you can see that, suppose if we spread a small pieces of the paper on the table, and if we rub a piece of thermocol on an inflated balloon against the silk cloth and bring it near these pieces, then what will happen? I repeat once again. What we are going to do, we have used the small pieces of the paper and we spread it on the table. We took a thermometer, or you can say the balloon. Either you can take the thermometer or balloon, and you have to rub it against the silk cloth and take that thermometer or balloon near to the pieces of the paper. Then see what will happen. Again student, the same kind of experiment we have seen in our formative experiment also. You must have seen that we rubbed a plastic comb against her dry hair. I hope so you remember that experiment which we have done in the last month. We used a plastic comb, we rubbed it against the dry hair, and then we brought that comb near the pieces of the paper. So do you remember what kind of changes we had observed in that case? And again, let me tell you that even in some cases, if you rub a piece of peacock feather between the two pages of the notebook and bring it near to your finger, what do you exactly see? Forget about all this part. I hope so you remember the comb and the plastic paper incidents. So when we rubbed a plastic comb against our hair and we took that comb near to the pieces of the paper, what you have observed? I hope so you remember this experiment which we have done. So when we rubbed a plastic comb against our hair and we took this piece of the comb near to the when we took this comb near to the pieces of the paper, what we had observed? We had observed that these pieces of the paper, they got attracted toward the plastic comb. Why? Because in all this activity we have seen that the pieces of the paper, the hair and the peacock feather, they all are seen. Okay, so my question is that why does this happen? Why the pieces of the paper, they move near to the plastic cone? Any reason? Yes, the reason is that because of the static electricity. Do you remember static? Static means what? Steady, which is not moving. Okay, so the static electricity is produced on material like rubber, plastic and ebonite rod. So there is a glass like rod which we call it as what? Ebonite material. So the static electricity is produced on the material like rubber, plastic and the ebonite due to the friction. So the force exerted by such electrically charged material, the force exerted by such electrically charged material is called as what? Electrostatic force. So because of the electrostatic force generated on the plastic comb, the pieces of the paper got attracted toward the plastic comb which was rubbed against the dry hair. So the electro means electricity, static means steady. So the steady electricity is formed on the plastic comb and the force got generated because of the electrically charged material which we call it as what? Electrostatic force. So now did you understand, students, what do you mean by the electrostatic force? And students, one more thing is that there is last part over here, that is a combined force. Now what do you mean by combined force? The name itself suggests that the combined force. Combined force means what? All the type of the forces, they are coming together. Whatever till now we have learned, the gravitational force, the muscular force, the frictional force, all sort of forces. So all sort of forces, when they are coming into the action at one place for doing one particular activity, so this is called as what? Combined force. So while an action is taking place, various type of the forces act on the object in a question. You might have seen a roller coaster. You must have seen the roller coaster like this. So there is a lot of frictional force is also there, gravitational force is also there, circular force is also there. So there are so many forces are involved in one activity. So when so many forces are involved in one such activity, then it is called as what? Combined force. So you must have seen that the roller coaster or juggling of a soul board on the seashore. So a variety of the forces, they act together. When variety of the forces, they act together, this is called as what? Combined force. Okay, student? So I hope so, students, whatever we have learned so far in this chapter, in the forces and the types of the forces, you must have understood that very well. Okay, so here we have completed the lesson number 10, force and the types of the force. But let's see once again overall whatever we have learnt in this chapter. So students, what we have learnt in this chapter? In this chapter, we have learned that force is required to bring about any action. So if you want to do any type of the activity, the force is very important. Without force, the movement of the object will not take place. And even the force is also required to change the shape of an object. Force is necessary for making an object move, to change the direction of the motion and also to change the shape of the object. So the force is very very important to do all sort of activity. To lift the heavy object, you will have to apply a greater force, and to lift the lighter object, you will have to apply little bit force. So the force will depend. And what we have learnt in this chapter? We have learned that in this chapter there are basically 6 types of forces are there. So what are the 6 type of forces are there? Muscular force, mechanical force, gravitational force, magnetic force, frictional force, and the electrostatic force. So these are the total 6 type of the forces so far we have learned in this chapter. Shall we see once again what is the meaning of all these type of the forces? So let's see that over here one by one. So here we learned about the muscular force. What do you mean by the muscular force? The force applied with the help of the muscle. The force applied with the help of the muscle is called as what? Muscular force. In this activity, can you see that a person is lifting something with the help of the muscles? So these bicep muscle and the tricep muscle are lifting the weight. Okay, so in lifting of the weight, the body muscles are involved. So in this activity, as the body muscles are involved, this type of the force is called as what? Muscular force. So what is the definition of the muscular force? Repeat with me. The force applied with the help of the muscle is called as muscular force. Now, what do you mean by the mechanical force? As you all know that students, in our day-to-day life, we use tractor, we use grinder, we use swing machine. There are so many machines we use in our day-to-day life. So even the machines do apply the force to perform particular type of the activity. So the force applied by means of the machine. The force applied by the means of the machine is called as what? Mechanical force. So whatever force is applied by the machine is called as what? Mechanical force. Now what do you mean by the gravitational force? Like other forces, even our earth do have certain type of the force. Whatever things if we throw up, it will come into the downward direction. So earth is trying to pull everything towards it. So the earth also applies certain type of the force, and that type of the force which is applied by the earth is called as gravitational force. So the force applied by the earth to pull the object towards itself is called as gravitational force. And this gravitational force, the first time it was discovered by the name of the scientist Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton for the first time discovered about the gravitational force. And again we spoke about the magnetic force as well. So you must have seen the magnet and the iron thing. So you all know that the iron material, they are usually attracted toward the magnet. That means magnet applies certain type of the force on the iron material. So whatever force exerted by the magnet, whatever force exerted by the magnet is called as magnetic force. Are you getting my point? The force exerted by the magnet is called as what? Magnetic force. And what do you mean by the frictional force, students? Whenever any two surface rub against each other, whenever any two surface rub against each other, the force of friction comes into the play. And the force of friction, it always acts in the opposite direction of the motion. So because of the force of friction, we are able to walk properly and stand properly. And again today what we have learned? Today we learnt about the electrostatic force. And the electrostatic force we have done by using the small pieces of the paper and by using the plastic comb which was rubbed against the dry hair. So when plastic comb, if we rubbed against the dry hair and if we took that near to the pieces of the pieces of the paper got attracted toward the plastic comb. That is because of the static electricity which was produced on the plastic material. And the force which is exerted by electrically by such material, it is called as what? Electrostatic force. So I hope so student, now you must have understood about all the 6 type of the forces in detail. And again the last type of the force which we have learnt over here, that is the combined force. Combined force means what? All the type of the forces, they are put together to perform such particular type of the activity. So that is called as what? Combined force. So I hope so students, now you must have understood regarding the lesson number 10, the force and the types of the forces. So here we have completed the chapter. I hope that you must have understood the lesson very well. Again go through the topic to learn it and revise it again and again. And whatever definitions I have given in this video, please copy down in your notebook, maintain your notebook and try to write down and revise it once again. We will see you in the next session. Bye bye, take care.